What happened between Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath? This story starts way back in 1965 when Tony Iommi was just 17 years old working at a sheet metal factory when his right hand was pulled into the machine, causing him to lose the tips of both his middle and ring finger. But Tony was determined to continue and built homemade prosthetic fingertips and experimented with tuning to make it easier for him to play, which is how he eventually came across his famous down-tuning technique, which some credit with the literal birth of metal. Anyways, within a few years, he, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward, and Ozzy Osbourne got together and started a band, Black Sabbath. Their first album by the same name was released in 1970. It's got this darkness to it, which of course would be amplified by the time they released their second, Paranoid, later the same year. War Pigs, the title track, Iron Man. When people first heard these songs, the reaction was very much, what is that? Until they felt that deep tone carried by Ozzy's haunting and powerful vocals seep into their skin the way that metal music is meant to. The album is like scripture for everyone who would come after them. And whether or not they were the first or the inventors of the genre, they are definitely the ones who showed everybody how it was done. Over the next few years, Black Sabbath made some incredible music, but all of the members played it a little too hard with substances, Ozzy specifically. By 1976, they were feeling creatively stagnant. Their album Technical Ecstasy only did moderately well, and Ozzy was struggling to even show up to studio sessions. The following year, Ozzy's father Jack died suddenly of a heart attack. Ozzy was devastated, leaving the band for a few months to recover. When he came back, he was even more erratic, and their following album, 1978's Never Say Die, was also kind of a commercial flop. By the time they started working on the album's follow-up the next year, Ozzy was isolating himself, living in a hotel, but Tony and the rest of the band still had work to do, and they were faced with a choice: either end the band altogether or fire Ozzy. And so they did, and what followed was Ozzy's wild solo career, complete with biting bat heads and dove heads, and the tragic death of Randy Rhoads and his turbulent marriage to Sharon, and everything in between. Black Sabbath hired Ronnie James Dio, a brilliant singer who brought a very different kind of sound and personality to the band's stage and studio performance. Their two first albums with Dio in 1980 and 81 were massive. Over the years, the band reunited a few times for one-off events with Ozzy, like 1985's Live Aid, 1992's Reunion, the first time that Ozzy announced that he was retiring. He, of course, did not retire, and after another reunion in 2013, the band announced their final album together, titled 13, the same year. The Back to Beginning show is probably the band's actual final performance together. Although you never know, 5 years from now, we could be watching a bunch of 80-year-olds rock out to Iron Man. It wouldn't surprise me for 1 second.